Salutations. Hello to you in that corner. Ohayo gozaimasu. Nihao ma. Konbanwa. Good day to you. G'day, mate.
Well gone.
What happened? Right. Kev Lakes, Dr. Love. Season 2, just cruising. Episode 5.
Cinco.
Alright. Today's conversation. Buckingham Palace, man. Alright, sorry. Today's conversation is based on the opposite of comfort zone. The discomfort zone. The twilight zone.
Yeah.
You have now entered the discomfort zone.
I was trying to come up with some new words for that place last night. Actually, it's like shadow plane.
Shadow plane.
I was trying to come up with some
Shadow
cool
plane.
new shit.
Something
I'll find it.
a bit more black. The shadow plane. He is the shadow, the black, the night. The shadow plane. You know, funny. It sounds like
It sounds dope, man.
some kind of villain in the X-Men.
Yeah.
Shadow King, Storm's worst enemy. Ooh. All right, let's do this. So, discomfort zone. Well, obviously, there's the word comfort and discomfort, and basically, discomfort is not comfort. Makes sense, right? What would you say? What's a discomfort zone? What, in your opinion, is a discomfort zone? Say.
I would say the discomfort zone is whatever is outside your personal comfort zone. So each person, would have their own discomfort zone. What's going to be comfortable for me and what's going to cause me discomfort is going to be different to you, right? So it's going to be unique to the individual, but it's everything that's outside their existing comfort zone. What's familiar to them, what's known to them, what they've done already.
Comfort zone.
Go on.
No, I'm thinking. Brain's empty right now. So discomfort zone, comfort zone.
Yeah, like I picture it like if this was your comfort zone, and that was like a circle, then the discomfort zone would be everything that's outside of that circle.
Right. Example, please. What would the example be?
An example? Okay, I'll give you an example. I was running this morning, and this has been on my mind a lot lately, just consciously choosing to put myself in that space. Because that's where growth happens, right? It's when you get out of your comfort zone. So I was running, and I started off in my comfort zone. And I was like, yeah, this is all very well, but there's not much growth happening here. So I upped the pace, pushed the pace into the point where it was like, it was challenging me much more. You know, I'm breathing harder, I'm working harder, because that's where the magic happens.
Okay, so that in a space for, say, athletics, running, that's one. What other kind of comfort zone or discomfort zone would you say is or would be in, say, the outside world, life in general?
I think that this applies to all areas of life. Like all areas of life. That's what I find fascinating about it. So let's say, for example, let's say you are going out somewhere this weekend, or you're gonna have some free time, right? Yeah. You have all the things you've done so far, all the places you've been so far. Those things are all in your comfort zone. But if you were to embrace growth, embrace adventure, exploration, you would then seek out things that were new, things that are outside your comfort zone. You might go and do a class in something you've never done before. You might try some food or something that you haven't done. I find most people have a fairly small comfort zone, right? They eat in the same places, they go to the same places on holiday, they have the same conversations, you know, read the same kinds of things. Whereas to put yourself in the discomfort zone is to take on new things. And that's where the challenge comes in, because, you know, once you take on something new, now your brain has to work on a different level. It takes up more energy because it's not using the circuitry that it normally uses. it's like, oh, okay, I've got to be awake, I've got to be alert, I've got to use more resources. So there's internal resistance to that.
That's fun. Isn't that something that? See, I like you said that because I know that human beings tend to get more cautious as they get older.
Yes.
So as we are younger, we have room to explore, room for adventure, new beginnings, new things, because we are on a constant learning basis, and then we try something and then it works, and we now try something else that doesn't work, and we go, okay, I like this one more, it works, and the more I tend to repeat this one that works, the less I want that other one, because now I'm now comfortable. I'm now in my comfort zone, right? In here, but here is now slight discomfort zone because this is now seen as or deemed as new, and new brings fear because fear brings is the unknown. New is unknown. Fear is unknown. What you know all the time you do, you no longer fear, right? But not knowing that which actually scares you is just a false evidence appearing real. So your fear itself is something that you need to conquer on a daily basis. Because you conquer that fear and your mind grows and develops a lot more. Because there's a study that shows that every time you learn a new skill, learn a new drill, learn something new, your brain changes its formation. Your brain physically grows differently.
Neuroplasticity.
There you go. So I would say for discomfort levels, you want to make yourself uncomfortable on a daily basis, or you want to try something new that might scare you, or do one thing that scares you every day. Right? So you do one thing that scares you every day, obviously within limit, within reason. I'm not saying because you fear bats, you're gonna stay in the bat cave and become Batman. No. Because you fear spiders, you get bitten by a spider, you become Spider-Man. No. Because you fear lions, you go, you jump in the lion's den, I'm Lion Man. When you get eaten, fool, stop it. Stop. You get carried away. But Kes said I did say it. Disclaimer. I did say it. Future reference. Some dumbass go and say,
we need the disclaimers for real, right?
You never know these days. But that's the beauty of discomfort. You want to do one thing every day that scares you. Before you realize it, you stop being scared because you've done it all. It's not like a bucket list. It's just that which is there. Let me try it out.
It's interesting because oftentimes when something comes up, you do get that inner impulse to take the opportunity, and if you act on it in that moment, you will step into that discomfort. But if you wait, then your internal sort of I'm trying to think of the right word. The thing that tries to keep you where you are and stop you from growing, it will kick in and be like, no, let's not do that.
It's
like
your self-preservation.
Yeah, if you give it enough time, which is why I think the 5-second rule is so powerful. The idea that you make that decision within 5 seconds. You go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Sorry.
Go on.
That 5-second rule. That rule itself would apply to two individuals differently. Because the 5-second rule to a smart person is, okay, we're going to do this because we're going to grow, let's go. But at the same time, the 5-second rule to a person that's spontaneous is quite destructive. Because the person who doesn't know better would decide something that's quite destructive and just run with it spontaneously. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So it's the plus and the minus, the good and the bad. Example, texting.
Go on.
Texting. We all make text errors. So based on where my mind is at, I could be in a good place, I can text you something and then you reply me, but the way you read my text, based on where you are mentally at that point in time, you will see as offensive. So example, you will text me, say, Kes, I was meant to meet you at 4 o'clock. It's 4:15 now. Where you at? You understand? and I'll be like, oh, my bad. You know, I'll see you another time, fool. And then you'll be like, my bad. I'll see you another time, fool. Who is he calling for? You know? And then you will reply me going, this MFer. If you're gonna be like that, I will see you outside, or I'll see you at 9 o'clock tonight. You understand?
This would never happen, by the way.
And then I'll be like, hey, cool, I'll see you at 9 tonight. Oh, awesome, cool. You know, you understand? And I'll be like, awesome. We're gonna get some shots tonight, no problem, right? And then you be like, what? I'm gonna get shot tonight?
What the hell is going on right now?
Mindset. Where your head is at, whatever someone else says, because where you are mentally, if you are not in a good place mentally, you will always see the same message in a negative way.
Yeah.
And then when you are in a positive mindset, whatever someone throws at you, you see it in a positive way, but you also go, yeah, they don't mean well, but they cray. So the 5-second rule can apply on both sides, on the good and the bad side.
You can use it in lots of different ways as well, though. Like, one of the things I would say is first of all, never send messages when you're emotional like that. Like, I've done that in the past, but it's been years since I've done that. Like, if I have to express it, what I'll do is I'll type out what I want to say, but I won't send it.
Right.
Like, if something really triggers me, sometimes I'll type out an email or whatever, but I won't send it. And I'll wait until I'm in a clear space, and then I'll decide, okay, do I need to share this or say this or whatever it is, right? Like, I had a situation recently where I was like, do I need to raise this with this company and speak to them about it, or am I just annoyed right now in this moment?
Right.
And I kind of slept on it, and the next day I thought about it, and I thought, no, actually, I am going to raise that, because some of the stuff that's going on there was not okay. So I did email them. But you can use the 5-second rule to stop yourself from doing something as well. It can be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It can be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. If you're trying to interrupt a pattern, it's a really useful tool. But I'm trying to work out how we got to that from discomfort zone.
5-second rule. About fear and going sharp with things and just doing it, because there are some things that if you wait too much on it, your fear carries you and you don't do it. Okay. But other things that if you just go and go, you get it done. It's awesome. I'm gonna digress again a little bit. The text thing, when it comes to text messages, I put like 2 categories on 2 categories. So there's the formal message and then informal message. So is it formal or informal? Is it work or is it personal? So when it's work or personal, I act upon it differently.
Okay.
Right. And now when it's work, is it logical or illogical? Makes sense. So when it's logical, I can respond logical like quickly. When it's illogical or emotional,
this is how you're grading the messages,
yes.
right? Okay, so the message that comes to you, you're categorizing.
I categorize it
whether it's formal or informal.
There you go.
And whether it's emotional or it's logical.
Or logical, yes.
That's so good.
So for the formal, for the work
that's
based.
so good. I love that.
For the formal, okay. So if I get a text and I go, okay, my staff texts me. Okay, this company texts me. Someone from another company texts me. Boom. Okay, that's formal. Awesome. Someone personal, that's informal. Formal, okay. I need to hit this message between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, is that person, what they said in that message, does that make sense or that sounds stupid?
That's your difference, logical and
emotional. Because bear in mind, company or not, the person that sent the message is a person.
Yeah.
So most times there's an emotion attached to the message. So I attack. I go, okay, is that message personal? Is that message logical or emotional?
And it's text as well, so tone can be ambiguous.
But guess what? So one thing I've known about emotional texts are basically replied immediately.
Yeah.
So when I tell someone we're not doing this, I just see typing.
It's when you see typing before you finish your message. That's the one that you're like, fucking hell, man. You didn't even heard what I got to say. 5, 4, 3, 2. See what I'm saying? 5, 4, 3, 2, and then they respond, and then they can't delete it. And they go, I've seen it already. Yeah, sometimes I just wait, innit? Just wait and just watch.
There you go. So again, formal, informal, logical, emotional. There you go. And when someone's being emotional, I take my time to reply.
Yeah, that's clever.
When I'm emotional, okay, cool. You've said something right now, and I'll look at it. Yeah, back later.
Yeah, because otherwise, throw a grenade in there.
Yeah, but that's work based, right? That's work based. When it's personal, same thing. Is it so personal now? Is that logical or emotional? Logical basically means because of who I am, the kind of person I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am in high demand. I'm always in demand. Someone needs me here. Someone needs me there. Whether it's work or personal, I need to be here. Now I prioritize again. So category. Bear in mind, I don't have a to-do list to just write down, but it's basically you go, is that important?
Yeah.
Is it important? No. Okay, cool. What's important? Oh, should I get turquoise or cream for my socks? Alright, cool. Let's say I reply tomorrow. Moving on. Boom. I was like, oh, the roof just came down. Alright, cool. Let's get a contractor. Get that sorted out. Boom. That's priority. Things like that, I now categorize. Okay, logical, emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We run with that way. That's how me personally, that's how I deal with things. Most people don't do that. They see an emotional charge and they charge back emotionally.
They react. And
then you wonder why people argue a lot, not realizing that if both of us are on the same subject, 99% of the time we are talking about the same thing, but just from a different point of view.
Yeah.
As long as we're on the same subject.
It's crazy.
But guess what? In all that logic is how you deal with your discomfort zone. Because in your discomfort zone, you don't look uncomfortable. Because you've now put the logic into it and gone 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Because even when you see something that is new to you and you don't know how to handle it, you already have a pattern or a system of dealing with things regularly, and you apply that same pattern to your discomfort zone. So now guess what? Your discomfort zone there has now become your comfort zone. So you now have a bigger comfort zone.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
It's about expanding your comfort
exactly.
zone.
And your next discomfort zone is now bigger than your comfort zone, but then you now step into that one and it grows bigger and bigger. And it's the magic of the whole thing I said about your fear. Do one thing every day that scares you, because guess what? When you do one thing every day that scares you, you get to a point where it's like nothing scares you.
I'm glad you came back to that, because that was what I was going to ask you next.
Full circle.
That is, how does that look for you? Like, how do you identify that thing each day? Is it like you have a list, physical or mental, of things? Because this...
Of fears?
Well, let me give you an example. So, a friend and I, Richard, I met him when I was in Toastmasters. He was the president of one of the clubs I was at. And we got talking. He ended up mentoring me a little bit as a speaker, and we were both people that like challenges. So I can't remember if it was me or him, but we came up with this concept of daily challenges. And the idea was what you just said. It was like, something each day, and the ethos behind it was, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So we would each discuss like different things we could do, and we were like, oh yeah, we could have challenges in all these different areas of life, like different ways of doing new things, putting yourself in these different spaces. And we would we'd agree. Some we do together, some joint ones, other ones we do ourselves. Some were bigger ones, some were like little smaller ones. So I was just curious to know, with you, is it just as and when things come up during the course of your day, or do you have a sort of system for how you identify those things? Like
both. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually both.
It doesn't sound weird.
But it sounds weird to you, and you, and you, and you.
It's just judging people.
And you, judging, calling you out, bruv. I ain't judging you. Ain't got time for that. No. It sounds weird to every other person, but it's not. Because, like life, things are balanced. There's always a balance, because it's always it's never one or the other.
Makes sense.
It's always a bit of both.
Because in real time, things are going to come
in
up.
real time,
Where you're going to
things
feel that thing inside you that's like, that's uncomfortable.
the ones who are always panicking are the ones who are always on one side.
Yeah.
Because those who always have everything this way all the time, the moment things go right, a little bit, not little bit, a little bit, shit hits the fan. And I mean like proper fan, mate. Proper fan. You know, it all goes peak tongue. And that's a problem. That's a major problem. People don't realize. So, and the ones who are very fartlek, very scattered, just no plan whatsoever.
No, you're right. You can't just be left or right brained.
They don't go anywhere. There's no tomorrow plan, and that's very, very dangerous. Especially
very fartlek.
Yeah, fartlek, scattered. It's basically like
fartlek protocol in HIT, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a SCAR system. So it's not the straightforward. It's like it's a randomized.
It's randomized.
Randomized system. Yeah. So
I just heard the word fart in it, so I was like,
look it up.
I've heard of it still. Like with HIT, it would be instead of having a regular intervals like Tabata or whatever, you would just pick and choose when you're going to do the high intensity interval. So it's more random, like you said. Well,
bird. Brilliant.
Wow.
So basically,
stuff for you right there.
Crows and ravens. Sorry, just saw a raven opening a chicken box, trying to eat chicken. Very, very smart birds. Anyway, digress.
Yeah. So you use a mixture of specific things and
Yes.
challenges you're working towards, but then also in real time.
Yes. You want to have your days arranged. You want to have your days systemized. You have I'm gonna go from point A to point B, this, that, and the third. But you always need to make room for error.
Yeah.
That's balance. You need to make room for error, which is basically what if. That's it. Just what if they don't go exactly right? Okay, we readjust. What if they don't go right? We readjust. So we do. Just readjust. Small things. You don't feel bad because it's not 100% right. No. We readjust every time. Boom. So now when things go right all the time, you have cause to praise and be happy. And everyone goes, why are you always happy? Because I planned ahead and it went right. So I'm happy. Or I planned ahead, it didn't go perfectly, but I adjusted it just right and it went right. I'm happy. It's a trick, this trade. That's the game. It's just that. It's just that. Because we like to categorize ourselves as, I don't know, I'm an Aquarius, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a Libra, I'm a Gemini, I'm a this. Dude, you're a human being, shut up. Every single person has the same thing in them. Oh, you're beautiful, you're kind, you find it hard to love. Sometimes you find the wrong thing, the right thing, but you're just who you are. Boom. Let's say that to a Libra. You meet an Aquarius. Oh, you're beautiful, you're kind, you find it hard to love. Sometimes but you're awesome where you are. Boom. You say the same thing and it works all the time. It's just the same bars. Oh, good. Some days you're not feeling too good. Some days you feel great, but you know, you're just who you are the way you are. You have a temper, but you know how to hold it sometimes. Sometimes you don't. And because you're a Scorpio. Mate, you're a human being.
I love that.
It's the same bars.
It's like cold reading.
Dude, like legit, it's cold reading. Listen, if I were heartless, I'll just go, okay, Mystic Kiss.
I was gonna say, fam, that's what they do.
I'm just right. Oh, Libra, today I'm gonna say, oh yeah, you know that thing under your bed? Yeah, don't forget to remove it from there. Boom.
Yeah, vague generalizations.
Vague. Aries. Oh, you're gonna meet someone in the train today, and you know, that's that person with that smile. Oh, this, that, and that. It's simple. Everyone's like, yes, they spoke about me. Okay. Vague.
Yeah, precise vagueness.
We're not left, we're not right, we're not up, we're not down, we're everything. We are everything. That's what makes us human. And balance is everything. So this whole concept is why I said about the error. You make room for error. That's balance. No matter how you plan your days, there would always be a little percentage of error. But if you don't plan for your errors, that percentage looks massive. Because there will always be a discomfort zone. No matter how big you grow in life, there's always going to be some small thing that happens. Just some small thing that happens. If you don't plan for it, it's going to be so horrible. Like, I mean, you see when people have problems, right? And they come to you, I've got this problem, blah, blah, blah. And you, with your logical mindset, you can go, it's nothing. You just do this. And you can fix it in a heartbeat. Do you know why you can fix it in a heartbeat? Because you understand that there's room for error. And it's okay to fail sometimes, because as long as you adjust and readjust, you will be just fine. It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's comfortable being uncomfortable, and I think that's one of the big keys. And we're living in a time where life is being made so comfortable, it's actually becoming to our detriment now. So, for example, when I was a kid, you were outside, you were playing, you were meeting all different types of kids. Some kids might try and bully you. There might be some verbal, well, they call it verbal abuse now, right? But there might be some kind of verbal interactions,
verbal jousting.
Do you know what I mean? Which are not pleasant. People would cuss you out or talk about your clothes or your trainers or whatever. And if you didn't have the ability to verbally, you remember them days? I saw kids reduced to tears on many occasions. People talk about your mother, all kinds of stuff.
Stop.
I've got stuff to
Pause.
say. Go on.
I know.
Go
Sorry.
on.
Yesterday, I saw these two boys dissing themselves. Your mom ain't shit anyway. Your mom is my mom, bro.
Seriously?
I swear.
That's hilarious.
Two boys dissing.
Two brothers.
And this was like, your mom ain't shit anyway. And guy's like, your mom is my mom, bro.
Now that's a response I've never heard to that. That's a new one.
Sorry, bro. Please.
That's so good.
Continue.
That shit's hilarious. But what I'm trying to make is, you were in uncomfortable situations so much more often.
Yes.
Because you were meeting different people, you're doing new things, you're going to new spaces. You'd go and play in the park. You'd go to another area. Maybe you live here, but you'd go into some other area and you'd be with some other kids you don't know, or you'd get invited somewhere else, or you'd go hang out with your cousins there, and there'd be new kids. You were constantly being put into different situations which challenged you, and you had to. It was kind of sink or swim, because if you didn't have the wits about you or whatever, you would just get buried, verbally, or if people realized they could pick on you physically, then you would get bullied that way. And so it made you a lot more resilient, because you were used to dealing with these kinds of situations. But the world's been really softened up a lot, like to make everything comfortable, make everything safe, and if anyone bullies you, tell the teacher, and blah blah blah. And the end result is you have a lot of people who are not resilient now, and are really fragile and can't deal with even someone having a different opinion. Do you know what I mean? And there's constantly this emphasis on, are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with this? Oh, let's make you comfortable. Like, everyone's always talking about making everyone comfortable, when in reality, our growth comes from discomfort. So
Dr. Love, sorry.
Go on.
Are you trying to say that pressure makes us stronger?
Absolutely.
Discomfort makes us tougher?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll give you an example. I think about how once upon a time, men would have had to go and hunt for food, right? Like, they'd probably leave the tribe and whatnot, and like, okay, we're gonna go and hunt. Some of us might not make it back. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna be gone for a few days. Do you know what I mean? We're out there, like the strength and the resilience and the resourcefulness that required compared to clicking on Uber Eats. Do you know what I mean? Like, the difference. The difference is so huge. And it's like the world's being, again, it's just being softened, and it's like more cushions here, more cushions there. But it doesn't serve us. I think it makes us weaker, and it makes us unhappy because we're not being challenged. Because we need actually to have those challenges. And so if you're just on a screen all day, or you're just playing on a console, or you're not having those interactions, you're gonna miss out on so many things. And that's what I see with a lot of kids now. They don't have that confidence because they haven't had that interaction. They haven't, like, I've been to other countries, for example, right? Like, I've been to New York, I've been to South America, I've been to certain places sometimes where the area is dangerous, but because of where I was raised and I knew a little bit about just how to carry yourself in a situation where there's danger, what body language do you have? Like, how do you walk? How do you carry yourself? How do you look so that you look, do you know what I mean, together, not like a victim? I learned that growing up, but it's like it was very uncomfortable. But what I see now is, like, whenever you see someone, particularly when you see someone shining or doing something well, there's a shadow for every time you see the light, there's shadow behind it. So, for example, if someone was to see you sparring, right, and they saw you like capably like handling stuff or teaching or whatever, what they wouldn't see is the shadow behind that of the times you got your ass kicked, of when you were, out of shape, like the whole journey of the like knocks and scuffs and all the discomfort, broken ribs, bust nose, black eyes, all of those things, fights you lost, or the times maybe when you first started teaching and you weren't as confident as a teacher and you're a bit like, okay, is this working? You know what I mean? How do I put this together? Blah, blah, blah. People don't see that. They just see the light. But behind that, there's always all the discomfort you had to go through to get there. So I think it's really important to embrace that.
Hold on, is it that they don't see it, or they don't want to see it?
That's an excellent question.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's like, the answers are there, but in your own ignorance, that's not the answer you want. If that makes sense. That answer does not answer your own question, which is what about me?
Oh my goodness, I was wondering if that ridiculous billboard was still there, and it is.
So, last episode, because we have to imagine that the audience doesn't see what we're saying.
Yeah.
So, last episode, we're driving past the beautiful streets of Pecknown, and we saw a massive billboard with a brand called Nike. It's a Yoruba name, Nike.
The goddess of victory.
Okay, Yoruba name, Nike. Goddess me. Yeah, Nike. And this woman has that VJJ up in the streets of Peckham. Like, here you go, people.
This is what they want to show to my people.
Enter my box, enter my hole.
This is so wrong.
It's unjust. It's not right. But again, when you like I said last episode, when you don't have a calling force or a calling power, you cannot say or do much. So yeah, this is what he said. That's fine. It's fine for me. It's not my type. And the area has been desensitized by it. So now, what's interesting is people who are in this area, most don't actually go around the likes of, say, Wimbledon, Kew Gardens, Chelsea, and the works, and they will not know that. They will never see that advert out there. It's unacceptable. Not in this neighborhood, not in this community.
There will be outrage.
It's fine. So, what would you say, sir? What would you say would be a solution or a way? Well, there's no one solution. What ways would someone with ease step into their comfort zone and grow? Because there's comfort zone stepping into and actually just crashing. Because you want to go from 1 to 1,000 and you're just gonna fall in the worst place, and you blame everyone else for your lack of growth.
Yeah.
How would you suggest people gently step into their discomfort zone?
I'm glad you asked me that. That's an excellent question. So one way which I've found really, really powerful one of my mentors. Well, he used to mentor me. I still think of him as a mentor because I still learn from him in a way. A guy called Jeff Thompson wrote a book called Hunting the Shadow.
Look him up.
Look him up, man. Hunting the Shadow. And so in that, the method he recommends is make a list of your fears, and then you turn it into, I think of it almost like a mountain, right? So at the bottom you put the smaller ones, which aren't as scary. And then as you go up, they become harder and harder. And the idea being that you start with the smallest one. So it could be something really small. It could be maybe something you're procrastinating on, right? Like maybe you're studying and you've got an assignment that you need to get started on, right? And so maybe that might be one of the smaller ones, right? It's like get started on the assignment. And so the idea is that with each one of those things that you do, you get energy, because one of the things I've learned is that there's a lot of our energy tied up in these fears. It's not really the thing you're afraid of. If you have something, you're like, oh, I'm afraid of it. It's not the thing. It's how you perceive it. It's your perception of it. And so it's you actually giving that fear power. And once you do the thing, that energy is released. And the courage you gain from that, and the strength you gain from that, it's like if you're playing a video game, right? It's like you got another weapon, you got some more ammunition. Like you're level up a little bit, and then you start moving up through the scale. That's one really simple, not easy, but simple way to address your shadows.
Alright, I've got a question for you.
Go on.
It's just if you were, let me say,
I've done that, by the way. It's very powerful. Go on.
the ruling class, and you ruled this society, right? If you were the ruling class and you ruled this society, and someone, one of your or 10 of your advisors had said to you, the way the world is going now, you and your children would be overthrown in a decade from now by the society, by everybody in society, by the masses, because they are now getting bolder and they have no fear. So you being the ruling class, how would you ignite your self-preservation? What would you do to the masses, the public? What would you do to them in order to preserve your power status? Because this is all power dynamics. Your power status, your legacy, your children, and your crew and your clique. What methods would you do to make sure the masses don't fight you?
There's a number of things I would do. I would ensure their education was as poor as possible, because knowledge, applied is power. So I would ensure that they're either like woefully uneducated or very misinformed as much as possible. I would provide lots of distraction and entertainment and things, but stuff of a low vibrational nature, so to again keep them in a state of just sort of busyness and dysfunction. I would give them porn. Like, just take a look at the world today, and it's all there. Like, I would offer porn and make it free. I would present myself and my family as the ruling elite, as above them. I would ensure that their perception of us of that would be maintained by how we carry ourselves, how we're spoken about, how we dress. Make sure everything is congruent with that idea of us being superior to the average person. I would, what else does that leave? I would keep them as fearful as possible.
That's all.
I know that's the one you're looking for. I waited there, yeah? So I did that. But no, I would keep them in a state of perpetual fear.
Yes.
Well, that's the most important one, to be honest.
Perpetual fear and disunity. I would invade the household by making the women fight the men, and the men fight the women. There's power in unity. Not numbers, unity. People say it's power in numbers. No. You can have 20 people who are disarrayed,
So true.
and there's no power in there because they're disorganized.
So true.
There's power in unity. Unity is basically you get 4 people who are on the same ball.
Powerful.
They can take over any country. 4 people on point.
So true.
Game. So you have. I don't believe in those power in numbers. Nah. There's power in unity. Make that make sense. Let that sink in.
That's bars.
It is.
That's
So,
bars.
but this is what for me. It's always has been, and always will be power dynamics. Always power. Power is everything. So, human beings have a fear thing. I don't. Oh, you're afraid. I'm like,
I don't.
I don't. More so, I do not. I do not. The concept of fear.
You do not have fear.
No.
That is interesting. I've never heard anyone say that before.
Well, listen.
The floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
That's it. I don't have fear. That's it. You ever heard say, listen.
Full stop.
Full
End
stop.
of story.
I don't have fear.
The end.
Daredevil, the man without fear.
Could you come on? You gotta elaborate.
Right.
You just bald like that.
I'll put it this way for you. You have had to see a lot of violence to become calm. You have had to experience a lot of things that will kill you and not kill you to no longer have fear. That's it. I don't have fear.
Okay, but then we're playing devil's advocate.
Shoot.
How do you put yourself outside of your comfort zone on a daily basis if you don't have any fear?
I don't have a discomfort zone. I don't have a discomfort zone. I do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. So because I have no
So
discomfort
you spend
zone,
so much time in discomfort that it's not discomfort anymore.
there you go. Atlantis. Wow. I don't have a discomfort zone. This is why I have no limitations. I have no limits, no limitations. Like when people say, "Oh, you can't do this," I say, "You are trying to instill your limitations onto me. Don't you ever do that with me again. Don't you ever talk that way to me again." That's what it is. I don't have limitations. My own limits and my psyche.
That's what I realize.
It's all there.
Yeah, man.
So when I believe I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, the only things that are stopping me are basically the law of the land. That's it. Or gravity. You understand? Or the law of constants.
Time.
No, exactly. Time, space, gravity, the constants. That's all it is. The constant, which basically you want that building, but it will cost you this amount of money. Okay, cool. Let's go and get that money from here. Okay, you want this money based on 1, 2, 3, 4 things you're doing. It will take you 6 months to get that done. Okay, cool. In that 6 months, I'm doing this as well. So there's no limit. Oh my God, there's no limit, but respect the law of the land regardless. Just because you don't fear falling, you're not going to challenge gravity. Because you respect the constants. That's what it is. So for me, for someone who has no fear or doesn't do fear, one important thing I just go is like, do not make every day the same. When every day is the same, you stop growing. You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You won't even realize it.
It's a slow
There.
death.
It's a slow death. Because it's the death that you don't see coming. You really, I mean, 6 months down the line,
You can feel it though. Like you can feel an unease if you're just doing the same stuff. There's a
it's
stagnancy.
the spirit of procrastination that kicks in.
Yeah.
Because you know what you did on Monday is same as Tuesday, as Wednesday, as Thursday, as Friday. Same thing. Same song and dance. But you always say, yeah, tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll change. If tomorrow comes. People like that, I don't have the time and the patience for you. I don't. I can say to you, okay, do 1, 2, 3. That's it. If you are adult enough, because I don't hang out with people who are below 21. I don't. So which means that you have a certain level of adulthood about you. You to a level you get sense. You're smart, small. So when I say to you do 1, 2, 3 things, your adult mind would have figured out, you know what, Kes is right. And you do it. Because I will not say to you something that would not benefit you. My thing is, everything I say to you, I have seen it from an experience point of view, or logical point of view, or I know something about that you don't know. So when I'm telling you game, shut up, get a pen and paper, write it down, listen, execute. If you don't execute, I won't tell it to you again. I've told you once, that's it. It's folly, it's silly to be telling the same person the same thing 3, 4, 5 times. What that means is they are not listening to you in the first place. They just enjoy your ranting and raving on your company. But they are not ready to take action. No matter what you do, the discomfort zone is your own discomfort zone. I cannot put you in your discomfort zone. You have got to do it yourself. I cannot help you fight your fears. I can advise you, I can suggest for you, but
you got to take the action.
That's your own demon you have to fight. That's your own sparring match you have to spar. It ain't a me problem, it's a you problem.
I'm intrigued by what you said about not having a discomfort zone, because what I'm now I'm focusing on this consciously. I'm finding this amazing momentum, and I think one of the key things is the mind has a tendency to magnify stuff. So if there's something to be done and there's internal resistance to it, the mind tends to make it like, oh, it's just gonna be like terrifying. And now, if I use the analogy of a roller coaster, a roller coaster isn't like scary the whole way through. The most challenging part is the few moments before it drops, right? When you're going up. When you're going up. Once it starts going, you're in the flow of it, right? And your adrenaline's going and you're having a great time. It's the same as fighting. When you're in the ring, you're good. But it's the lead up. That's the most challenging part, right? That's when your mind can maybe start doing its little thing, or your nerves are going. But once you get in the ring, you've been in the ring a million times. But it's that moments before. So what I'm finding now is putting myself in that space consciously on a daily basis. It's like a momentum to it, and I'm getting excited because it's like, okay, what's next on the list? So I can see where you're at. Makes sense to me to be in that place where it's just like, it's Tuesday, as you put it. You know what I mean? We're doing something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Expansive.
Yeah. Tuesdays. Right. Because every other person finds Tuesdays to be a very idle day. Not us, mate. Not us. That's what it is. Just like, no, go. Get uncomfortable. So I don't fear. I don't have fear. So what I do is I look for the next challenge.
What's that challenge based on? Just a level of, because when you say challenge, there's not you're saying there's not an emotional component to that.
No.
You're like the Terminator, bro. So it's just like level of complexity then.
See, my kick. Everyone has their kicks. Cigarettes, alcohol, food, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
My kick is success. That's my buzz. It's that simple. My kick is success.
That's your drug.
My kick is when I see my people doing good.
That's a beautiful feeling.
No alcohol, no cigarettes, no food, no sex. Nothing can beat that high. Nothing. When I see my people doing good, nothing can beat that high. When I see and that good is that 1% better. That's it. That 1% better. When I see my people doing 1% better, I'm good. I'm good. Nothing beats that high. Why is that? Because I am on a constant growth pattern as well. When I see others growing too, there's no envy. No jealousy.
Same.
Those who are envious and jealous are the ones who are actually stuck.
Yeah.
They've reached their limits and they know this. So they get mad at you because you don't have a limit. See the whole thing about limitations. You haven't got a limit.
Yeah.
But you're still growing. Those who are always growing, they see you growing, they want to help you grow. They want to keep growing.
Yeah.
Because
you're on the same page, you're going in the same direction.
That's why I say power dynamics. My thing is power. Power is everything. Everything. I get the buzz when I see my people get more powerful. And this is what powerful means. Mental power. That self-belief that I can do it. When I see one person have that self-belief that I got this,
it's the dopest, right?
That's it. That's it.
I can relate to that a lot.
There, I'm good. We're good. We're good.
My work here is
We're good.
done.
Legit.
Yeah, it's a
I'll be like Mary Poppins. Just pop my umbrella. Just I'm out. Peace. That's it. Umbrella. My rucksack. Peace. Just floating away. Yeah. That's it. We're good. It's the mental thing. A mentor is not meant to be there for life. Mentor is meant to help you to be self-sustainable.
Yeah.
You good? You got this, bro? Go.
It's like the training wheels on a bike, right?
There
like
you go.
It helps you balance at first, and then once you got your balance, you take the wheels off.
We're out.
You do your thing.
That's it. So it's why I like my slogan: learn, teach, inspire, grow. I like it. You cannot take that from me. That's mine. Learn, teach, and inspire, grow. Why is this? When I grow, you grow. When you grow, I grow. We're good. We're good. We're good. Because you learn a skill. Look at this. Dumbass. I said it. Dumbass.
Oh, I got that from you because I said that the other day. Something happened and I was like, dumbass. I didn't even really use that word. That's hilarious.
So when human beings, we're just cruising, right? When human beings cross the road without looking left and right, I just stop the car right in front of them and say, just look at this, just look at this. And they go, oh snap, car, broad daylight. Oh no.
You should have given it a.
I was, but it would ruin the camera. It would ruin the video.
Possibly save her life, but she's gonna have to hold that L.
Mate, listen. A few years ago, I had a sixth sense thing, and there was a lady crossing the road, and I knew she had not crossed yet. She was gonna cross in 5 seconds.
You had like a premonition.
I get that a lot. No, it's not.
Yeah, I think you might have told me about this one actually.
I did. No, that's a different one.
Okay.
Different one.
Go on.
So this lady was gonna cross the road. That one was a young boy. She was gonna cross the road and looking on the phone, walking down. I knew she would cross this way in a minute. I just knew, right?
Wow.
I just knew. And as she was 4:30, as she was crossing, I just stopped there, and in the moment, a car was speeding towards her, just running. I picked her up on the side, moved out, put her on the road on the sidewalk. She just looked at me like I just groped her.
So oblivious.
This
got me.
Yeah, that happened. Anyway, I learn a skill. I teach people. I inspire them. Once I inspire them, they grow. Once they grow, I grow. Simple as that. That's my story.
Beautiful.
Anything else, sir?
Nothing to add, except get into that discomfort zone, man, on a regular basis.
There you go. Well,
make fear your friend.
I've been Kevin Lakes. He's been Dr. Love. It's been emotional. Peace.
Boom.
Thank you.